I think the RAM SRT10 is the coolest vehicle ever built.
Yeah, came through flexing cause they know I got the sauce. Got the presence on me, I can't ever take it off.
I think this truck's a lot more than a one-trick pony. I think there's a lot of really cool features everywhere you look on this thing, and I kind of want to go through it. Number one, obviously you gotta talk about the engine. Sounds amazing. It pulls pretty nice. The torque is incredible on it. And just one more time, the sound is amazing. You know, if a V8 is a lion roaring, the V10 sounds like elephants. It is incredible. Just to list off some of the tech specs on the engine: 8.3 liter V10, 500 horsepower, 525 torque, big push rod, aluminum, relatively simple in design, true dual exhaust all the way back. Seems like they're very reliable if you take care of them, and especially if you leave them stock. There's a lot of examples of these trucks with almost 200,000 miles on them. I actually seen a couple over 200,000 miles, which, doing the math on it, I'm averaging about 8 mpgs on this thing the way that I drive it. 200,000 mile truck, the guy probably spent over 100 grand on gas alone. Number two that makes this truck special: not only do you get a manual transmission, you get a T56 6-speed, and after doing a little bit of research on it, it looks like the RAM SRT10s actually have a strengthened gear set inside of it. So not only is it a strong T56, you can get a beefed up one. Transmission's kind of clunky cruising around town, but when you're pushing the truck hard and shifting aggressively, it feels excellent. One common complaint, even when these trucks were new, is that the shifter is just, it's not the most confidence inspiring if you're really slamming gears, or if you're, I guess, trying to flat foot shift, and especially on like the 2 to 3 gate. I'd have to agree with that. I don't think you're really going to be speed shifting incredibly fast, at least on 2 and 3. 1 and 2, it works pretty good actually, but yeah, not the best shifter in the world. Transmission feel, like I said, clunky around town, but when you're beating on it, it comes alive, and it fits the character of the truck absolutely perfect. Related to the transmission, I don't know what clutch setup is in this truck. It has 45,000 miles on it. It might be stock, it might not be, I really don't know. But if this is still the original clutch, it feels excellent. Really good feedback, decent pedal pressure required. It doesn't feel too easy, doesn't feel ridiculously stiff. Number three that makes this truck special, and in my opinion, pretty cool: the rear axle on this thing has a 1-ton truck axle, a Super Dana 60, which we're in a half-ton truck with 500 horsepower and has a 1-ton axle, so unless you're launching it at the drag strip with slicks on it, you shouldn't really be able to blow this thing up. Going around tight turns and stuff, compared to what was in my 392 Challenger and 5.0 Mustang, the rear end in this thing locks up pretty aggressive. Hear tire chirp even just driving around parking lots, whereas those cars, I wouldn't really experience that. So the posi traction in this feels aggressive, and it definitely still works at its age. Attached to that rear axle is the biggest drive shaft I've ever seen in my life. 4.5-inch, one-piece aluminum drive shaft. It's just so cool seeing everything on this truck. So next really cool thing about this truck I want to talk about is the suspension. At first glance, it's just double wishbone in the front, leaf springs in the back. But if you look closer at it, you'll see some performance goodies. Front suspension, aluminum knuckles, aluminum upper control arms, Bilstein shocks, massive 15-inch brake rotors to stop this 5,000-pound behemoth. On the rear end, leaf springs, but you also have a extra 5th shock absorber, help prevent wheel hop, and it actually does work really well. The rear end on this thing is very well planted. Even if you rev it up and dump the clutch, very little wheel hop. It manages it very well, so whatever that design is, it works great. Now, to the point of what that means in the real world, it rides a little bit harsh with those Bilstein dampers, but it feels pretty decent. It's not uncomfortable or anything. It feels pretty firm. Kind of related to the suspension, but maybe not quite. Brake cooling ducts. I've never seen a full-size pickup truck with brake cooling ducts. This thing has massive ducts going to the front rotors on it. Really cool and unique. To the interior on this thing, the interior is actually pretty nice on this truck. I really like the Alcantara center with the leather trimmed seats. Also, I really wanted an 04 and 05 because you get the bench seat, and you actually can fit 3 adult men in this truck. It's a little bit cramped, but listen, there's not too many manual V10 vehicles that could fit 3 people in it, and this one seems to do it pretty well. One awesome thing about the Ram, and this is going to sound kind of funny, but you got to believe me, is actually pretty stealthy compared to, like sports cars or muscle cars that I've owned in the past. When I had my Ford Mustang, it was kind of stealthy, I guess because of the color of it. It wasn't really that flashy. My Dodge Challenger was absolutely insane with the amount of attention that it got. Depending on the kind of person you are, if you like being, really flashy or having something that gets tons of attention, maybe this isn't the truck for you. If you want something that's cool and enjoyable and you don't want all the eyes being on you, this thing's actually pretty awesome for that. That pretty much wraps up my first 1,000+ miles or so with this truck, and I gotta say I've been really enjoying it since I got it. If this is one of your favorite vehicles, or you're thinking about getting one, you should get it. I would highly recommend it. The driving experience is so awesome and unique. The sound that this engine makes, it's just overall, it's very special. I feel like elevates what it's like having from a 5.0 Mustang or a 392 Challenger. I've had other trucks. I even had other Dodge Rams in the past. This thing just kind of takes everything awesome and smacks it together and makes it a sandwich of something you can't get anywhere else. There's never been another V10 manual pickup truck like this. There's definitely never going to be another one. Even if Dodge made the new Rumblebee rear-wheel drive with a Hellcat engine, manual only, it would be way faster than this, and it'd be awesome in its own way, but just, I think this era of vehicle is probably never going to be replicated again, and it's kind of a shame, but at the same time, you can go out and enjoy one of these now for less money than a Honda Accord, and it's awesome. Overall, it's really awesome.